call it the laws of locking mainly so I can get alliteration in the title. Here's the story. I think a lot of people, almost everybody, even karateka, learn some locks. And people in Hapkido, Hapkido is another style is represented, and Aikido, which has a very big emphasis on locks, I think don't necessarily investigate their locks in detail. Because locks work so well, and they create pain on the opponent, we're happy with them, okay? I find that what you can do with locks is be more finesseful and use less strain and still get results. Kotemoashi. Let's start with Steve, who hasn't been in uke for a long time because of a shoulder injury. So I don't care if you do the entry exactly the way I do it. I care more about the lock. The entries are super important when you apply locks. Because if you don't get the entry, if I go like this and I'm going to grab your wrist, is he going to let me do that? Come on, he's not going to let me. He's going to go, uh-oh, he's going to hit me, right? I have to do my tongue block, right? So you can't do it. You have to have a decent entry that allows him to get into that lock. Entries could be a whole other seminar. Okay, now, here's the lock I want. This is kotemoashi. I'm going to stand up for a second. We'll just do this. I'll turn my hand upside down. I grab the back of his hand. And I have the fingers toward his shoulder. Bend over just a little, Steve, so they can see. So the fingers are up, straight line here, and folding to his shoulder. Pretty simple, very basic, not the most painful lock. Okay? Not a kagi, not a nikyo, but a kotemoashi. However, I want to work grip on this. Most people do this. If I grab with my little fingers and my thumbs, he can pull his wrist straight down, even if I'm holding hard, and I am holding hard, go ahead. Whereas if I grab with one hand and my hand here, if he pulls it down, I'll go with him. If I do two hands, go ahead, ain't moving. So it's one hand overlapped completely with the fork behind him, little finger above the fold of the wrist, and the other hand just parallel or mirror image. Okay? All you have to do to put pressure is push down with the fork of the hand like this, and if you want to do a little Wally J action, you push with the fork and pull with the finger, two-way action like this. Okay? Now, kotegai basic form, not lead-in, not off-balancing. It's not, I'm not doing this and throwing, none of that. Okay? You grab the base of the thumb. Now, here is a little bit of a variant on grips. If I were to grab sideways like this, it's a good grip. But it's not quite as good as if I grab with my thumbs upward. Not pressed in like this, but slightly upward. You see that angle is going toward his ring finger? It's stronger than if I do this because I have greater leverage. And so when I cross them, this goes to his forefinger, this goes to his ring finger or little finger. Okay? And basic kotegai is pull, push. Same rules as kotemoashi. Try to get his little finger, middle finger up. 1, 2. Of course, he wants to do that to you anyway once he feels this. 1, 2, right? Don't throw him to the outside, right? Don't off balance. Just pull with your little finger, press with the fork of your hand, and you're only changing this to this slightly. Proper gripping, okay? And if you want, you can add weight shift. Pull, push, weight shift. Now, if I just do this, no twist, no off balancing, can you reach me through the hand? You probably can hit me, right? So something's wrong with this picture. If I pull and push, can you reach me through the hand?
Cannot.
Okay? Remember when we said ply low, go to the spine, unless you're floating. And because this is not momentum, I'm not floating him, I'm pressing into his base. I could apply load by going to my base, but if I go to my base, he can reach me again. The other hand can reach me. He can probably even kick me with his back leg. Okay, but if I go to his base, can you kick me with your legs?
No.
And I grab the base of the hand. Now, you have to involve more than one joint in shihonage. It cannot be just a wrist thing. It has to be elbow, it has to be shoulder. His arm doesn't fold this way without using his elbow and shoulder, right? So, I want you to start off with your hand forked underneath the palm, your fingers around the base of around his knuckles, not his fingers. Can you see this okay? All right. So now, and I want you to lift the elbow so his forearm is horizontal at the minimum, if not starting to go down. And all I want you to do is take two hands, extend your arms, and just pull back the fingers. Just like this. You may or may not get a throw. I don't care about the throw. I care about the put pressure on. And we call this urigarami kotegaishi. By the way, right now we're doing everything standing. We could do this grappling. Now, you can tell that just adds another layer, lower layer, to these techniques, and it would take twice as long to teach. You got to get down there, you got to get familiar, you have to adapt it to the ground. So we could cover the whole seminar, do another seminar, do exactly the same material, go on the ground. Okay? So be aware of that. I don't want everyone to think we always do this up here. I don't want you to think that you can't do them on strikes. But we're working only on the locks. I put my thumb underneath his wrist joint. Put my hand on his knuckles again. I fold it over this way. So it's not an under grip, it's an over grip. Right? Arch him back, pull the elbow in, pull him up. Now you're basing it. Okay? Now, why am I not putting pressure directly to the spine?
Floating?
Because I'm floating him. I'm moving him. All right, so if I want him to lock in position, I'll go here. I arch him. It goes directly to the spine. You want a Z shape. You want to grab underneath your hand on the back of the knuckles as we've done in the past. Okay? Now, you can pull the person down, but pulling him down means he's going to resist up. All right? So people go, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just fold this more and I'll get kote mawashi and then do, yeah, you can do that. But while you're trying to get kote mawashi here, what is he doing?
Punch in the face.
He's rearranging your teeth, right? All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to do what we did in the wave seminar. You hold this to your chest, you rest this hand on, hold this against your chest, not muscling with your hand. Watch, I can do it like this. You don't have to hold on tight. It's great to have a grip for security's sake, but it's not this. Just to show you my point. Okay? I'm going to do a more subtle way. Okay, I put a little pressure on it. He resists, right? Just slice. This comes from sword. This simple slice, very simple. Kote mawashi, bend his elbow, kagi. Okay. Now where do you go to?
Fingers.
Not tehana.
The upside down fingers.
Hands go in the same direction, flick it. Katate osai. Bring him to the other side, grab his thumb side, tehana. You can continue from here. You can go to shihonage. You can go to kote aish. I can go back to kote hineri. I can go to finger press. And then you can just keep going. But I just want to give you the sense of the combination.